Hi guys, Charis here, and this video is going to teach you what you can expect in the Merkaba spinning workshop that I'm going to teach on February 1st online. It's a method that I and friends of mine have developed, all kind of coming together and talking about what we're experiencing as we're using various methods, and there are a couple things that those of you who are contemplating taking the workshop should know. The first is that a lot of it's going to be in guided meditation. And the second thing is that in order to get the full effect of the workshop, you're going to want to be of a spatial mind while the workshop is going on, because the way that it works is that the Merkaba is kind of a outer shell to the aura. So for instance, if you've seen a Merkaba, what it looks like, well, of course it wouldn't be seeing it in 3D because they don't exist in 3D, but we have pictures and images of them, and what they represent is a more all full, I guess, more dimensions than just this 2D version of that, the Star of David. But actually it's made up of pyramid shapes. So rather than being one of those, it would be an actual pyramid shape. So from the bottom looking up, the bottom is 4 sides, and then the top is here. So this is us looking actually from top or bottom. So then when you've got them all together, you could have something like, I don't want to get too technical here, but like this, right? Okay, that's kind of off to the side, shifted. So like I have a little pyramid sitting here, it's a little organite pyramid. So it's this above and then below interlocked. And what most people do when they think of a Merkaba is they put it like this, with the person's head here and then legs, arms, right? But then what ends up happening is that then when this Merkaba spins, when you start spinning it, and the points are all moving around, right, in all directions, then the arms and legs and head are kind of getting chopped, right? So that's not what you want. What you actually want is to have a Merkaba where you exist completely in the middle of it. So like this, right? And then this thing is moving around you. Now, the other part of spinning the Merkaba that I feel like is important is that you have to kind of do 2 layers. So there's a lot to describe, but one of them is that the new way of spinning the Merkaba also has to do with activating the 12 DNA strands. So when you actually spin this Merkaba, it's going to be going on tracks. The points are all going to have tracks, that, like train tracks that they run on, that are going to go up and down. Of course, they're kind of doing the double helix thing. You have some going around this way, spirals, and then you have some spirals going around this way. There ends up being a total of 12 of them, and as you create these points and then fill them and then tracks around your body and run them as far up and as far down as you can possibly go, going out to infinity, and then when you create this Merkaba around you and then split it and send it down and up. So you still have a version around you, but you also have little Merkabas up here at the top spinning, and you've got little Merkabas down here at the bottom spinning. What you're creating is a existence, experience, universal kind of a drill, and you're figuring out new things happening and new novel experience combinations of different kinds of code. So emotion with experience, with setting, whatever. Okay. So that's the way spinning the Merkaba works. I know it's a really simplified version. In order for me to tell you, it would take a really long time, which is why we're doing a whole workshop on it. The reason I'm posting this video is that for those of you who don't imagine visualizing stuff to be something that's fun, this would not be a workshop I would recommend for you. It's just going to be really frustrating. That doesn't mean you can't do this practice, but it means that there's going to have to be another method, because this particular version of spinning the Merkaba is something done and it's constructed. When we're going to be building them, you're going to have to see yourself sitting in the middle of this pyramid thing, and then another one on top, and then you're going to spin them one with the other. So you'll probably want to have, markers and paper as we do this, because it's kind of an intense experience, and we'll want to do it from the top angle and from the front angle so you can understand what's going on. Now, after you've been spinning your Merkaba for a while, this is a sequence that takes way longer to explain than it takes to do. It takes me probably about 30 seconds to a minute to do it now that I've been practicing it since probably about maybe September, and right now it's the middle end of January. So it's been a little while, but for a while it's taken me no longer than a minute to do. And once you start doing this practice, then it opens you up to other possibilities, which we'll talk about in the workshop for manifestation. Essentially what you do is create what it is you want, put it in an entire reality sphere, wrap it in a Merkaba, and then merge your Merkaba with the Merkaba of the thing you've just constructed. So it's kind of a brainy type of thing. It's more brain-oriented than most of the things I talk about, which are more emotion-oriented. But for those of you who wanted to know what we're doing, this is a practice that I have found to be hugely beneficial, and I have noticed significant shifts in how quickly I can get through challenges, and also shifts to how easily I can travel from one geographical location to the other. So if you look in the mythology around Merkabas, what you find is that people call them kind of spaceships, kind of things that let you travel through dimensions. And on one hand, I think that's true. I'm only at I think all this even is still the kindergarten stage of this topic. So this is really for beginners. Those of you who already have methods that work in spinning the Merkaba, I don't know that you need to do this. But I'm sure there's a lot farther to go, but what I think is that most of what we see then translates into our experience of this reality. So a lot of times, even though in the literature or in the media it looks like, magical blue sparks flying all around, in the actual world that we're experiencing, it doesn't look like that, but it does look like a change in scenery that just kind of happens through synchronicity or a new opportunity presented to you. So that's kind of how the Merkaba works, which you can get out of it, and what the workshop is going to be about. This looks like a mess right now, but I think it will make more sense to those of you who are taking it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, the workshop actually happens on February 1st, and I will shut registration for it the day before. So I'll probably close it at something like noon Eastern on January 30th. So try to sign up before then if you want to get in it. If not, I will probably be offering it a recorded version afterward as well. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Otherwise, I hope you're all doing very well. The end of January is going to be really intense, and then I think February is going to be super intense. There's a big astrological thing happening, and that's a whole other subject, but it has to do with the return of Goddess, so divine feminine power, intuition, reception, darkness, which has had a huge smear campaign over it, but is actually just the void where things are created, etc., etc. But I'm rambling now, so I will let you guys go. Much love, go in peace, and I will talk to you again very soon.